Listen.
What are some of the key features that you want to see in a Switch 2.0? We've sort of danced around a little bit here and said what they could be, but like personally, what's the one thing that you want to see out of this next iteration?
I mean, I would love to see, I would love to see a bump in just processing power, like more RAM and a newer, obviously they will have a newer, fresher chipset. Because certain games like Overcooked, for example, they don't run at 60 frames per second. They don't run as nicely on this machine. And I feel like you get more out of giving the machine a little bit more oomph rather than resolution output to make games look better.
Yeah, I would say that my pick is kind of what I was just talking about. The Switch is very durable. Like I do feel like I've definitely dropped my Switch and it's not cracked or anything. But I do feel like there are little things. The fact that the Joy-Con slots are a little loose, or the sleuts is loose, or that it doesn't have like an actual D-pad, or the fact that the screen's getting scratched. Like I'd love for them to go back in, take a look at the way that they are casting these things and make them a little more durable just in the minutia of it.
Yeah.
But that's more like Joy-Con updates then, right? Like I think the one thing that holds them back is that they committed to this controller in this size. Like I don't know how much how willing they are to like change the mechanics of it. And
They're willing to put NES controllers on the side of that thing.
yeah,
They don't
that's
want to do
funny.
anything.
That's
But
funny.
that's the other thing is like if they're truly talking about creating something that is like non-exclusive, then they have to create something that is like forwards and backwards compatible, right? So the idea
otherwise
that
you split the market.
right, so the idea
That'd be
that
annoying if I couldn't use my 900 Joy-Con.
Here's a better design, exactly. Here's a better design Joy-Con, but it only works on Switch 2.0. Like that
That would really cost a bit.
Brian, go ahead.
You can put it in the drawer with your old iPhone 4 charging cables and the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually would like to see more quality of life stuff that sort of connects around the Nintendo Switch itself, sort of like Bluetooth headphone support. I'd rather see a redesigned Pro Controller. If they want to relaunch the Switch, I'd like for them to focus on the whole suite of products that went around that. Like a better dock would be really cool that doesn't scratch the system. A new Pro Controller that has a headphone jack, which seems like a very simple, basic thing to do because everybody else got that down. But for the Switch itself, I guess I'll just echo what you guys said, plus the kickstand thing and the better screen. I think it's mostly not really an issue for me. As for something like Overcooked, like a small team made that game, but if you can make Zelda and Mario Kart and stuff like that run...
It runs at 30 though.
Yeah, but it runs well.
Yeah.
You know? Like you don't really... There's not a lot of hiccups there. So
Except
I don't
when the
necessarily-
Bobo Kleins are swarming you.
They're okay. There's some
Or
problems.
except-
What were they called? Bobo Kleins?
Yeah,
Is that
Bobo
what your name
Kleins,
is?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Except when you go into
Goblins, we
the
know.
forests. But they fixed that in the patch.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember at the beginning, when that game first launched, how slowly it ran in the forest?
It's still not great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Zelda's a bad game, am I right?
Wow, things have really changed on this show. Wow.
Show's different, Jonathan.
We're just negging everything today.
I want the share button, the capture button, somewhere different, just because I hit that thing accidentally so many times. That's just a very small specific thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
hate
feel
that
you on that. We were
so
playing
often.
Super Mario Party this weekend and on my Switch and going back into my Switch on Monday.
Yeah, when you hold it sideways,
I
it was
never
crazy.
use
I have like
Yeah.
100 different
Yep.
screen grabs of Mario Party. It's like, I'll always remember these good times.
Oh yeah, I have 50 title screens of Overcooked 2 because someone else who's just starting to get the controller.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sorry. So for me, it is largely form factor, things like that, a better battery. I mean, for me, the thing I'm more interested in, honestly, than a redesign of the Switch, because like you said, I'm not really like, I need something better than this.
Right.
Is Nintendo talked a while ago about, and I think that's why they will keep Joy-Con parity, that they're like, it doesn't just have to be Joy-Cons that go on the side of this thing. Like, I want to see the more innovative things that they'll continue to do as they adapt this system for maybe it's a wider audience, maybe it's for
what?
streamers, whatever they do.
Whole game.
What do you want to attach? Coffee machines?
Yeah, hey, if it'll make my coffee
Hey,
in the
yeah, I was
morning,
gonna say,
that'd
if
be
the
great.
Switch-
wheels.
If the
Yeah.
Switch will allow me to play Breath of the Wild and make me breakfast, I mean, that's the
That's
greatest
an-
console of all
Breakfast of the
time.
Wild.
That's right, Breakfast of the
Keyblades.
Wild.
Oh, if you put a Keyblade over that thing, yeah.
That's a
Announcement.
Photoshop challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Breakfast of the Wild. Get it out there. I want to see that. That's it, baby. I totally agree with you. Like, I think that those are things that they could very easily rectify. I would also like to see something along the lines of what Microsoft is doing in terms of like an adaptable controller. I think that would be really cool for them. This is a good opportunity for them to try and maybe test some of that as well.
They should try a clamshell design. They've never done that before.
Yeah, there you go. Like a
work
Switch
really
DS.
well
Yeah,
with
that
the
would be
Switch.
great. Yeah.
They sell those weird floppy cover cases things.
How do they go like?
They're just like...
There was some discussion about whether they would go handheld only, and I don't think they would do that with a machine named the Switch.
Right.
Right? That would be kind of defying
Yeah.
the purpose of this machine.
I mean, that totally makes sense.
Right?
Yeah,
Maybe. I
there are
don't know.
games there. Well, they
Switch
also
that
said
can be switched.
Nintendo
you could
also
switch
said
the
that there were going to be
Joy-Cons.
games.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo also said that there were going to be games that you, or there weren't going to be games that you only played in handheld, and we've seen.
Did they say that?
Yeah, I remember that was the
Interesting.
topic of discussion. Like, oh yeah, you can play every game handheld or docked, and then
Right.
somebody's
yeah.
gonna come back and say that I'm wrong. But I
No,
feel
it's
like
okay.
that was the case.
I
No, yeah,
remember
there's-
stuff like that, but I also don't think that they will ever, like you were saying, prevent one or the other. Like it won't only ever be handheld, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do a package that is just the Switch without a dock or without the.
It seems to make the most.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they can charge $50 to $100 less
Yeah.
to put that Switch out. That opens them up to a whole new
We're
audience.
already starting to see some weird. I mean, just in the last week alone, we got what is it? The world ends with you,
Yeah.
which basically has like the pointer controls and touchscreen controls, and then Mario Party, which can't be played specific ways. So yeah, who knows? I kind of hope this happens, and I'm also totally okay if it doesn't.